You're listening to Fat Cat Radio, a family of hosts playing the best local music, raising the bar one note at a time.
FCR 247, you're live in the mix. I'm your host, Twism White Peace. Today, we've got a magnificent interview with one of those kind of just pop music sensations that just come once along every 10 years and truly fill your ears with something magnificent. So today, I'd like to bring you a show that's brought to you in association with World Star PR, Anything Goes Podcast, The Big Rich Show, and of course, BNS Designs. So go ahead and visit our website real quick, www.fcr247.com, and let us know what you've got in mind for yourself. Now, here I am right here live with singer, songwriter, and producer Ian Guerin. Ian, how are you today, brother? How are you doing, man?
I'm perfectly fine, man. I'm happy to be here on the show and ready to have a good time during this difficult time.
Yeah, yes, exactly, man. I tell you what, with everything that's going on in the world, it is a blessing to be able to share some time with somebody that is of good quality, you know, something fun, something worthwhile, something that alleviates the negativity that's going on in the world today.
Exactly. I completely agree. I think that we need to take our minds off of that for a moment.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, you know, what's your thoughts exactly on everything? Let's go ahead and get that out of the way now, man. What do you think about everything that's popping off with this COVID-19 and everything?
I have mixed feelings about it. I think it's real that we have to take care of ourselves, that we have to stay at home, that we have to play it safe so that it doesn't get bigger. People need to understand that the thing with it is that if we all get sick at the same time, then we can't treat everyone at the same time. So that's the thing. But I don't know. I just think that there's something political happening behind all the mass hysteria, you know. But the danger is real. So while we figure it out, then we just have to stay safe.
So with this danger being real, you feel in somewhat that maybe there's been a capitalization off the hysteria involved with it? You feel like the government's using it to their advantage, or you feel like they're the ones creating it?
I don't know if they're the ones creating it, but I definitely think that everyone in the higher rings is using it for their advantage. You know, I think it happens all the time. The great corporations always capitalize on this kinds of stuff. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know if China wants to teach everyone a lesson, or if they're just messing with the president, or if there's a corporate, you know, thing involved, like
Big
merging
business,
of companies or some business. But the danger is real, you know, and the risk is real. And so we gotta do our part in staying safe and playing it safe, you know. We people in society, you know, we are all we have. I don't think that the higher grounds of people care about regulars. So we regular
definitely.
citizens have to take care of ourselves and play as a team worldwide.
Definitely. Now, speaking on an entertainer's level, has this affected you in any way? Of lack of shows, canceling of shows. I know on my end, I had a couple of shows lined up for the start of this 2020 year, and they've gotten canceled. So, performance ends. Has that affected you any?
Fortunately not. I was talking to a company about touring with them, but it was later in the fall. So
it's kind of down the line still.
Yeah, it affected my cousin right now, who I'm quarantining with. You know, he was on tour and he got canceled. He was currently on tour, but thank God it didn't happen to me. I've been trying to use this time to work on music.
Well, count your blessings, man. Because as an indie musician, man, it was a nice kick in the gut, man. You know what I mean? Because you plan out, you put things together in your mind of how your career or your moments or your life or your week's gonna go, and then you get hit with some changing news, and it's like, wow, I had everything riding on this moment. Now we've got to switch gears. So it's good to hear that you haven't really been affected by that. And man, sucks for your roomie there, man. The quarantine roomie there, man. I'm telling you that yeah, I know what it's like. So sorrows for him, man.
Yeah, well, we've been having a good time trying to make the best out of it.
Yeah,
I'm a firm believer that in tough times, when I can't remember that saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Just a quick question. Just a quick question. How many rooms of toilet paper do you have stockpiled?
No, we didn't do that. We have like a set, and that's all, and we're just using it moderately. I don't think that's right, people, because that's panic. And when people panic, maybe if we were
There you
talking
go.
about, corporations trying to create mass hysteria to get to a goal, then we're favoring them by
We're
doing that.
feeding
And
into it. There you go. There
yeah,
you go. There
yeah.
you go.
So
I
we
like
shouldn't
that. Well
do it.
said. Well said. Well said. So okay, so moving on from the COVID, obviously, we of course everybody here we extend our best wishes and prayers, and of course, just remember to use social distancing during this time. 6 feet apart, and just wash your hands and be smart about the whole situation. I mean, all got taught since birth about germs, and we should already know about this, right? So let's keep it
Right.
moving here. We've got once again we're live in a mix with singer, songwriter, producer Ian Guerin. He's got told that he has a velvet and passionate voice, man. How does that make you feel when you get told something like that?
I have a hard time believing it because it took me so many years to love my voice as I heard it in the
Yeah,
speakers. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can understand that, man. They say you're your own worst critic, right? So
Right.
now, you got a song in there that was called Bubblegum. I was reading about Bubblegum, and this is one of your best songs. I want to know what is your thoughts on your song Bubblegum? Because as an independent musician, we all have our favorites. We all have the ones that we're not really too hot about. Where does this rank on Ian Guerin's level of music that he's done?
Um, I don't think in the top 10 because I really like my latest album better. So bubbling at number one, bubbling under the top 10 at number one, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I think it's a good song. Alongside I Heart, I think it's the best from the debut album.
nice.
People embraced it a lot. So, that gave me confidence. When people tell you did something right, if you're not that sure, because
Yeah,
when that song happened, it just seemed to happen out of nowhere because we were in the studio and we were watching The Simpsons, and we were like, okay, let's make a song, and we did it. I don't think that my lyrics are my best moment because they're not really that coherent, but the melodies are great, and so I like it, and people seem to enjoy it. It's a very catchy hook. It really does um, sound like bubblegum, when you hear it.
I love it when people create the songs that actually, you like hear it in the beat. You hear the beat and then you hear the song and you're like, yes, that's exactly what that sounds like to me, right? So yeah, I
Right.
love that. I love that kind of music. That's great. That's great. Well, I was reading some of the things about Cry. And you've got a nice little what seems to be a rating scale there. And it seems that most of the ratings just overall have been absolutely overwhelmingly positive. I commend you on what seems to be just an outstanding overall presentation. Now, I've listened to your song Free Time. I've watched your video Free Time. And I'm gonna tell you what, man, I'm a sucker for that video. That is that video, that song, that is an absolutely amazing song. I love it. I've shown my family it and everything. It's a great song. So when you're creating
Thank
songs
you.
like Bubblegum and like Free Time, where are you getting this inspiration? Where are you getting this drive? Because it says in one of your things that writing for you is therapeutic. So where do you create this stuff in your therapy?
I think, and I don't want to sound cliche when I say that, but I once heard Michael Jackson say that it came from above. And when I first heard him say that, I couldn't understand what he was saying. But
Right.
then as I got into the quantum physics and the universe and how it works in energy and law of attraction,
Yeah.
I just you know I just understood what he meant. You just really gotta hear it in your think it in your head so that you can hold it in your hands. So those songs just seem to come about that way. I wanted to make a good record. I actually wanted to make Free Time for Charlie Wilson. Of course, I didn't know that it was going to be called Free Time and that it was going to become that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I definitely wanted to make a song to pitch to him,
yeah.
and so I was thinking, and I was in an emotional turmoil, and I think that that's the therapeutic part of it. You know, I was in an emotional turmoil because I was dating this girl, and I'm sure she's probably tired of me mentioning her in the interviews, but she's inspired a lot of the songs in the album. so so here we go
That's
again. I
great.
won't say her name. You know.
That's
Uh,
great.
you know, she dumped me literally. She stopped talking to me out of nowhere, out of the blue, and I didn't understand what was happening. And she came, she kept on popping back into my life, like and saying, "Oh, just wait for me, and I'll be back. I promise. I'm just going through something." And so she kept me there, and I really didn't understand what was going on. And what was going on is she was seeing someone else and trying him on to see if it fit, and, you know, she was holding me there so in case he wasn't right, then she could come back to me.
Yeah,
But in
yeah.
the meantime, I was just thinking, you know, I gotta do this song. I really want to pitch Charlie a song, so I was just walking around the house and feeling like a mist, and all of a sudden I said, I don't know what she does with her free time, but I definitely think about her all the time, and I'm tired. And I was like, whoa, that's a really good line.
That's it
And
right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
then
Well,
I just sang it.
so
Sorry.
many. No, I was just gonna say. It seems that so many lines in that song were absolutely. What I would almost say is relevant to a lot of different people's thinking. So when you draw lines like that out of the thin air, it's like you said, it's meant to be. It's from that higher, connected part of us and the energy. Like I just I think of it and how it applies on so many levels, and I think that you have accomplished what we call like a songwriter's dream with that song. You know what I mean? Like it's the perfect songwriter's dream. That's a great songwriter. Like a songwriter looks at that and they say, "Wow, that was so well constructed and so well done." And I just want to give you
Thank
your
you.
your hats off to that because one thing we don't do in this life is give credit where credit's due. And one thing we do is we tear apart and we destroy so quickly. So I want to make sure that in the midst of all this conversation, you're getting your due props for free time because I'm a songwriter. I'm an independent musician too. So we have these songs that come along so very rarely that we've constructed absolutely perfectly, and I think you did it with this one. And I'm anxious to see what the outcome of the future success from this song is going to be because I think you've got a lot of potential with this one for sure, for sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
man. No problem. Of course, you know.
Those are amazingly kind words. Thank you, man.
Well, I mean, see, and this is the thing. A lot of times, a lot of people get interviewed by people who have no entertainment background. They're just podcasters. They're just radio hosts. I come with the extra added entertainment level with being the independent musician and the performer and everything like that, right? So I understand that not only for your psyche, but for the psyche of the people who are listening to this right now to understand exactly how great you are, that these are words that need to be said. These are words that need to be vocalized out loud so that it can draw the positive attention that you're needing that, is not given fairly in this world to most people. You know what I mean? So,
I completely agree.
moving on, man. You were featured on a lot of shows and, of course, a lot of different podcasts. A couple of those, man, which, of course, let's give a shout out to Jimmy Star, is the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. And also on top of that, it looks like La La Land. Did I say that right? La La Land.
Right,
Okay,
right. Yeah,
let's get into some in depth about this. I want to talk about La La Land first, and then let's get into the Jimmy Star Show. So let's go La La Land first. What is
right.
your what? Explain that to people out there who may not exactly understand all that.
Oh well, it was my first appearance on a morning show, and I was really nervous, but that day was special because, well, not just because of the appearance, but because they took a picture afterwards of me and the hosts, and that was the first time that I saw myself in a picture and thought, "Oh, I could really, really rock like a star." Right? That
Yes.
was the
Gotcha.
first
Yeah.
time ever that I saw myself, like not in edited pictures, because you got all
Yeah.
these pictures that they'll take in sessions and
Yeah.
they'll edit
Yeah.
them and they'll Photoshop them and twist them and turn them and they'll work.
Exactly.
But that was the first time that I was photographed as I was right there, and I saw myself, and I was like, "Wow, I look good. I look hot. I look I'm buoyant. I'm rocking this boat, and I could really make it in this industry." That was the first time that I thought that. So that was an
That's
incredible
amazing.
experience,
Yeah.
just because of that feeling alone. And
That's
and the show was
fantastic.
great, and they were great. And
Now,
at
what is
first I
La
was
La Land?
nervous.
What is La La Land? Is that it's a morning show, but where exactly is that a morning show at?
Oh, in Beverly Hills, LA. I think it's called La La Land because I think that they call LA 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 Land for some
Okay,
reason.
okay,
I've never understood
gotcha,
why, but
gotcha. Okay, well, no, now I'm not from that part, so I don't understand exactly. So it helps to have somebody break it down, right? You know what I
to
mean?
me
So
in my right in my heart they will always be Hollywood, like in BoJack Horseman,
yeah,
when they
yeah,
steal
gotcha.
the they steal that tea and it's Hollywood forever. So
I gotcha. All right. So with this being your first, obviously you had the nerves, you had the apprehension. What did you use to get over that? I mean, what was your cure all for the apprehension that you felt going into that show?
I just try to clear my mind from any thoughts, because that's something that I've learned to do in the past years. Like when I'm really nervous or stressed out or anxious to do something or just excited, plainly excited, I
Yeah.
I I, I try not to think about what I'm about to do. If that makes sense. Like I try to blank my mind off and just sit there, and I just sat still and said I didn't say a word before my segment was on. Like before I came into the couch of them, I didn't say a word. I was just looking straight forward and just thinking nothing and letting we all have thoughts all the time, but they're
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
cro- they're crossfade thoughts. So if you don't stop to analyze any of them, they'll just cross by
Yeah.
and they'll go.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, and that kind of relaxes me in every situation that excites me, because every challenge and every new phase of a career is exciting. And I'm a true believer that if it doesn't excite you or make you nervous, or not fearful but nervous, you know, if it doesn't make you feel that
Some
way, then
butterflies in the tummy. It's got to give you butterflies
right,
in the tummy.
right, then it's not big enough. And so I like feeling that feeling, but I don't like thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I did, and it worked out. And for people listening, and if they're gonna go through certain situations, regardless of the walk of life that they're on, just try that. If they're driving in their car and they're going somewhere and they're really anxious and nervous or excited, or all three of them, just blank your mind, listen to the music, and you'll get there, and you'll feel this strange sensation of comfort, because when you stop thinking when you stop analyzing thoughts and you just let them cross you through, then like the mind gets really really relaxed, and it's like you really give it a break, and you can actually feel like all the tension go out, and this sense of exhaustion that we always feel, you heal it. So it's beautiful. Try it at home.
That's Ian Guerin's advice. Let's say musical therapy advice 101. How about that? Does that work for you?
It works perfectly. Like we were just hearing Dolly Parton yesterday, and she said, "I'm no guru, but I tell you this, I know it's true."
Yes, yes, exactly. And it seems like, especially in the entertainment walk of life, that as we grow, so many of these And like, it's funny that you said Michael Jackson, you said Dolly Parton. It seems like so many of these quotes or interviews of legendary artists from the past, it's like when you watch them again now, it takes on a different meaning. It takes on a different, I want to say, atmosphere almost. It kind of makes you think differently about what you're doing individually and where you're at individually. Like you said with the Michael Jackson thing, it helped you tap into, kind of more of a conscientious way of thinking, which allows you to get in touch with the energies that surround you and be able to write these amazing songs. And like you just said with the Dolly Parton, wisdom, the wisdom that we've learned, we know, you know what I mean? So it seems like you pick up a lot of the stuff from the older generation. Is that true? Do I see that as being kind of your guidance, maybe your lessons?
Definitely, definitely. I think that my issue in life, my main and only issue in life, is timing. I wasn't born in the right era.
Yeah, boy, don't I know
Because
that.
I'm an
Boy, don't
old soul. Like
I.
I'm a 10-year-old when it comes to how I get excited about things and inspired by things and influenced. I'm like a
Yeah,
sponge.
yeah.
But when it comes to the soul and the feelings of it, I'm like 85 years old. Like as I said in Good Morning La La Land, and I've come to realize that it's true. In my heart, I'm Tony Bennett, and not because I want to be him, but because I feel like an older soul with so much experience, even though I've got
Nice,
so much way to go, right?
nice, nice.
So
I
yeah,
like that.
definitely. I,
I
I,
like
I would have
that.
been I would have liked to be around when Ray Charles was at the top of the charts.
Oh man, that's legendary though. Well, see, there's a difference between the status of today and the status of the past, right? To earn the status back then in the past, you had to be truly talented. You had to be truly gifted. You had to be truly one of a kind. You had to have, you know, that extraness about you that most people just don't have today, right? So it is almost a must that we reference legends like them when we're talking about greatness, not only in music but just in all walks of life, right? So I mean, I totally
Right.
agree. I think if people were to focus more on what we had back then and what we have had, rather than what we're looking at now, I think maybe, some people stepped over them. They missed some steps in the process, right? And I think that it's the legends who can fill in the gaps for us that we've skipped over.
Right, because they had to do everything by themselves. I remember Quincy Jones saying that they came from a time when production didn't run the show, but instead they ran the show, and that they
Exactly.
either had it or they didn't. But if they didn't, they
Exactly.
weren't gonna be there. And
Yeah.
I think that now, with all the things that we're given, to simplify the process of whatever you're doing, we miss, as you said, we missed those steps, and they
Yeah.
didn't have those tools. So
Yeah.
when they didn't have those
Yeah.
tools, they just had to do it themselves, and
Yeah.
they learned by experience everything they knew. So
Yep.
that's the wiseness, and I think that they're legends not only in entertainment but in every situation. I like to reference everyone who I respect and think that they made um, something out of their lives. And by something, I don't mean money or fame or
Or plaques
just
on a wall. Yeah,
like
exactly.
just joy in general.
Yeah,
And that
exactly.
and
Exactly.
that is it. Like I have friends that have a restaurant near the beach, and they have a house on the beach, and they don't need all that greatness and power and fame. They're just happy living their lives, and everyone who's content with their lives deserves to be admired because they've reached the ultimate goal, which is peace and happiness.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Especially in a world that is controlled by so much, not only mass hysteria, but social stigmas, as well as, just all the different new age ways that, life is falling apart. I mean, something as small as just, I hate to say, but online bullying. I mean, online bullying seems to just be something that has crept up out of nowhere and is like a demon that people don't want to talk about. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's just the internet, it's just social media. But in all walks of life, no matter what, it seems like evil, ignorance, and hatred is just starting to command its way. And we need to focus on, like you said, the people who have made joy and peace and happiness their main focus. You know what I mean? Because those are the ones who really, really leave behind the legacy. And I think in today's world, anybody can create a lot of money, anybody can create a lot of fame, but it takes somebody truly hardworking, truly gifted to be able to create a legacy, right? So
Right.
I wish you a legacy creating life. That's for sure on that one. Moving
Thank you.
on, you've also been featured on the Jimmy Star Show.
Right.
And that has, of course, the gorgeous Ron Russell. How'd you feel about that interview?
Oh, that was a fun show. They
That was a
really,
blast, wasn't
really,
it?
really made me spill those beans. I just
Man,
dropped the tea, and I was ready not to say certain things that I said there, but
I
they
loved
just
it. I
pulled it
loved
out of
watching
me.
it. I loved watching that interview. I was there for that one. I got to be a part of that one. I got to watch that one. That was amazing. That was a lot of fun. And of course, you're naturally you're what we call video, or what is it, camera friendly. You know what I mean? Like, you're good
Thank you.
in front of a camera. You know what I mean? So
Thank you
um,
so much.
yeah. Now, of course, being on the Jimmy Star Show came with a lot of attention and a lot of hype. How did that make you feel afterwards? How did that, did that gear you to be more focused, or did you want to soak it in for a minute? What was your reaction after that?
I, Joy. I think that as an artist, and I'm sure that you'll relate to this. As an artist, when you're growing up, what you want is to be seen,
Yes.
and you want to have that living room show lit, literally.
Yeah.
So you want
Yeah.
all your family to see you and enjoy you and praise you, you know,
Yes.
because and I was thinking about this the other day. That's like the whole point. You want to be seen because there's something inside you that lets you know that you have the ability to express, and that you have the ability to impact others with that expression.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so when that happened, I was happy. I was ready. Like I figured I've been waiting like 10, 15 years, since I was like 6 or 7, well, for this to happen. So I was overjoyed. I was nervous, actually. I'm gonna let you in on this feeling that I felt afterwards. I was
Okay.
nervous because I referenced Ariana Grande, and I referenced that she is so sweet, and that I wanted to tour with her, and that I probably wanted to date her too.
Yeah.
Because who
Yeah. I
wouldn't?
remember that. You said she was amazing. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then but I heard the words that I used, and I was like, I was so anxious, because I was like, oh my God, no! If she hears it, she's gonna
Yeah.
she's not gonna take it out of context, because I said the words, she's gonna do me well, but I was talking about my heart and soul, and I was like, fuck, no, I just messed up. Yeah. And I was
They
so
say that
nervous because
they say hindsight's better than foresight.
right, right,
Yeah.
right. And I was nervous, because I truly believe that in life you can get anything you want. You just have to go have the guts to go and get it. And I listened to a show that's called Constructive Criticism on the internet,
Yeah.
on Facebook, sorry. And he always says, disciple always says this line that I like, and he said, "Shut mouths don't get fed."
Yep.
So be sure to say whatever you need to say, so that I can read it and do something about it.
Yep.
And I like that, and I've understood that. And so when that happened, started, it became part of the process where I thought I can really achieve anything I want. I
Yeah,
wasn't I
yeah,
wasn't born into the name, and this is something that I've thought of too. Like no one was born into the name that they are now. Like Barack Obama wasn't born into his name. Shakira wasn't born into her name. Kobe Bryant wasn't born into his name. They made
R.I.P.
the name who they
Yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So unless, and I always think of that, and I tell my family this when they're telling me that they want to do something but they're not sure if they'll make it, or I tell them on this all the time. I unless you are one of the royals, and I won't say the names because I always screw them up, you know. Unless you're one of them, coming from Queen Elizabeth, unless you're one of them, then you gotta make a name for yourself.
Yeah,
So
and it
I
takes
believe that
hard
we can
work.
do that,
So it takes
right?
hard work. So nobody just gets it
But
for free, right?
right, but everything is possible. So I'm very conscious with that. So when I talk about Ariana, I'm like, I'm gonna run into her in the near future. I
Oh
want her to
yeah,
have the best idea of me, and I don't want her to hear that and think,
yeah. I
"Oh,
know.
this man is weird,"
Can
because
we
I
get an
am
edit
weird.
button?
But you know,
Can we
right?
get an
No.
edit? Can we get an edit button?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so it was amazing feeling being on the Jimmy Star Show. You obviously had a great time and everything. Now, I know you have him do work for you and such. Now, with your career moving forward the way it has been, is there any Ellen, Oprah's, anything like that? Is there anyone out there that you're like, you know what, that's next on the list. That's my destination.
Wendy Williams.
Wendy Williams, really?
I know this is.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
know a
I
lot
got to
of
hear this
people.
one. Tell,
Yeah.
explain this one to me. Yeah.
I know a lot of people are gonna say like Wendy because she's very controversial, and I
Oh
understand
my
that.
gosh.
I watch her show on a daily basis, and she always says like here on the Wendy show, not everything is for everybody.
Yeah.
So I understand that, and like one of my biggest titles in life is Mariah Carey, and I know that they two don't get along, but
That's been well
I also
documented.
admire Tony Motola, and we know what Michael Jackson thought of him too, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Right. Exactly.
so
God.
I just want to be friends with everybody, because that's what the world needs. We need to get along just
Yeah,
fine.
man.
So Wendy, I see her every day, and I've thought about this, and it's funny that you ask me because I've been giving it some thought in the past few days, like, because she hasn't had a show, right? Because she
Yeah.
she had to go to quarantine. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I was thinking, like, I'm one day in the near future, I'm gonna be in that purple couch, and the first thing that I'm gonna tell her is thank you for putting me through some hard days, because there's been days where the only good thing that happens in the day is sitting and having my dinner and turning on the Wendy Williams rerun on YouTube and just hearing that voice in off say, and now here's Wendy, and that feeling, and she comes out and she gives me a good time.
Yeah.
And when I finish watching the show after 40 minutes, I'm like, wow, I feel better for some reason. She made
Yeah.
me laugh. I learned
Yeah.
stuff. You know, so that's it. And I was actually there when she got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in
Oh,
October.
nice.
I happened
Nice.
to be in LA, and I was like, okay, what am I doing Thursday? You're doing nothing. You got some free time, and
Yeah.
it's always
Yeah.
a good time to first self promote. So, you
Yeah.
know,
No doubt. No
and,
doubt.
and I was like, and I was like, I'm gonna go to the Wendy Star ceremony, and I went, and it was great, and I actually got some fun videos on my Instagram about that. And she's
Nice.
walking to her sprinter, and I sent a friend the video, and he was like, "This it's epic when you scream at the end of the video, I love you, Wendy."
Isn't it always cool when you see the celebrities fan somebody else with it, like they're just the biggest fan of somebody else, you know what I mean? Like I
Right.
find that to
There's
be
Right. So Wendy's definitely on the list. And yeah, it's gonna happen to me plenty time. Like I've watched the videos of celebrities fanning out over other celebrities
Yeah.
just to see, how they react
Do I
and
do
how
it
I'm gonna
this
react
way? Do
because
I do it this way?
right. I believe there was Anne Hathaway and she was there at the Golden Globes or something, and she was being interviewed, and she saw on the monitor that Mariah Carey was walking right behind her, and she was like, "Oh my God, Mariah, is she behind me?
Yeah.
Can you get a cool shot of it?" And she
Yeah.
was so nervous. Yeah,
I
and
Go ahead.
so
No, I'm
so
listening. No, go
that
ahead. Go ahead.
definitely when I meet Mariah, like it's gonna be something, because we're both very eccentric. So
Yeah.
I
Well, see,
hope it's over, fun.
I personally would do I think I would have that reaction over like Will Smith, like because I've grown up with Will Smith being my kind of like one of my icons since I was a child, and I think that if I ever was to even be in the same picture frame as him, the same video frame as him, I think I'd absolutely lose my mind, man. Yeah, I think I'd lose it, man. What's great is I have this friend, Sherry Johnson. She is the owner of SVTV Network. You probably know who she is and who the TV station is.
Right.
She was interviewing a bunch of celebrities at, I think it was the Oscars or something like that. And walking next to her was Jamie Lee Fox, and you could just see that she was trying so hard not to just like totally fan out. And the greatest thing about it was is that she actually got to interview him. So it was kind of like a win-win for her, right? But you could see her total reaction. And like I think that any person, no matter what level you are, always has that other celebrity that they find to be that they fan out on. I've watched Madonna do it. I've watched several many big name people say and admit that they have their own favorite celebrities. So Justin Timberlake seems to be a lot of them.
Right. Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was actually in the compilation video that I saw
Yeah,
alongside Ariana Grande crying when she met Jim Carrey.
yeah. Oh, that's another guy, Jim Carrey. That'd be a great guy,
Yeah.
dude. Because that's another guy I've grown up with, right? So,
Yeah, and he's
anybody
so
that
wise.
not only that, he's funny, man. Like I need that laughter every now and then. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
let's move on a little bit, man. Let's keep it going. Now, you've obviously got a bunch of music out there. You've got a lot of different things going on in your life. Where is it possible for people to find you? Let's get that stuff out of the way. Where's the links? Where's the hot spots? Where do you socially trend at?
Oh well, and I'm gonna start with this because I just opened it 2 days ago. So people have to find me on Twitter, on TikTok. I just opened my TikTok, and I actually did a Michael Jackson lip sync video yesterday. So TikTok is at I am Ian Guerin, and they can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as I am Ian Guerin. Facebook is / I am Ian Guerin or just Ian Guerin. And and Instagram is the one that I use the most and
Yeah,
the one that I had most fun with. But I'm discovering TikTok, so just
yeah, yeah.
just find me there, and we'll have fun. I'll try to create some sounds so that we can have fun. Like I thought of it as TikTok is gonna be the lighter version of what's already cool about my Instagram. So they can definitely find me there, and they can
I like how you said that. You said the cooler, lighter stuff about my Instagram. I like that. I like that. So,
yeah, it's all fun.
so you
Sorry.
you you got caught up in the TikTok rage? You buy into that? You think that's a future platform for musicians, or do you just think it's a lighthearted thing, like you were saying, light?
Well, I think it's very light right now. What I see is mainly fun,
Yeah.
and not all business. But I'm sure that they'll make some sort of adjustment. All social media has evolved, so we'll see how it pans out. But for the time being, one thing I know is I'm not gonna run with the trend. I'm gonna try to do my own thing because that's where I'm
Yeah,
most comfortable at. But
exactly.
I'm also gonna try to make it fun, and I'm genuinely really silly, so I'm gonna show that when I'm on TikTok. But I got into the trend because hey, we're quarantining and there's not much to do. But take care of future business. Try to keep those bills paid and the wallet stable while things get back to normal,
Exactly.
and do fun stuff on social media. Like I see I see this like on a lot of people that weren't on Instagram, and they're like, and I'm seeing them now on Facebook, like, hey, I just opened my Instagram, so hit me up. And I
Yeah.
have this friend, like, she's like, okay, I hadn't opened my Twitter since 2014 when I was like 13. And she was like, but I'm now ready to come back to it, so hit me up on Twitter. And I was like, so I see all these people, having abandoned their early teen social media things, and coming back to them during this difficult time. So, you know,
Wha-
so
What if
I,
this?
I just
What if
figured,
this? What if this COVID virus was a gimmick by Mark Zuckerberg to go ahead and get everybody back on social media and get them numbers back up there, man?
well, but believe, as Wendy would say, believe me, we're laughing about it now, but he's
Yeah,
laughing all
right.
the way to the bank. you
Yeah,
know,
no
I,
doubt, no
I, I
doubt.
don't think that's like, I don't think that's too crazy to say. It could be, like, I mean,
I mean, in a world that we live in today, I don't think very much anymore is too crazy to say. I just think it has to be it has to be backed up nowadays. Anybody can say anything, right? But now you need your facts, you need your proof, and not just
right.
some, like you said, Photoshop or Wikipedia proof. We need real cold, hard, evidence and facts and things like that. So
Yeah, but he's a high power, he's a high power, so we'll know whatever he wants us to know. And what he doesn't
exactly.
want us to know, we won't know. No
That's
matter how much we research. So we
that's
don't have to stress about it. We just
yeah.
have to be good humans that
Wait.
give something to their environment, stop destroying, stop using plastic,
Yeah.
stop thinking that we're the only ones on Earth. There's a lot of species that need the space too. you know
Who
so
we actually rely upon, like bees and grasshoppers and things like that. So
right, and who some of them are actually more intelligent than us. I was talking to my cousin. We're here, so we see each other all day long, and we can't go out. So so
yeah,
we were talking. I was like,
right.
we were like sitting in silence, just in the yard, and I was like, do you know that whales actually have like this chemical thing on their brains where they can process emotions literally, so that they don't have emotional turmoil inside of them. They have this chemical that they can liberate, so that they can process that emotion and just let it go and go on with their life. And I'm like, how cool is that? Imagine existence not being a problem that we have to solve. So
Man,
so
imagine just being
they're
able to float around through an ocean like a whale.
right. They're really intelligent. They never, and they don't hold grudges because they got that chemical. Now, elephants are different because they hold a grudge. Oh, you poke an elephant and he will wait 25 years, and then when he gets it right, I saw that documentary on Netflix where he was electrocuted by his trainer, and he waited 25 years for the
I
perfect moment to step on him and kill him, and I was like,
That's so
whoa.
messed up because I know exactly what Netflix original thing that you're talking about there. I know
Right.
exactly what you're talking about. That's so crazy. Oh my
Right.
goodness, man, what a great conversation, bro. You're actually really workable. I like how you can conversate. You're a good conversationalist, man. Good job. Good job.
Thank you, thank you. I'm really silly, but I think that that's what life is about. We don't have to take it too seriously, you know.
Yeah.
And we mentioned Jim Carrey earlier, and he's
Well, I
he's
don't
got this very
I only
famous
have two
meme.
moods, either very serious or very funny. What's
Right,
that?
right. That happens to no. That's total. I totally relate to that because some people don't understand me. Like I was, with some friends before we had to quarantine, and they were here at the house and all. And I was like, why are they not getting my stuff? I
Yeah,
think of me as
exactly.
super cool. Don't they get it?
Yeah,
Like I felt
exactly.
like Nicki Minaj when
I
she was
think
like
I'm
19
funny.
years old, and she was like, don't you know who I am? And she was nobody back then, and I like
Yeah,
that because she thought of herself as somebody before. So it's
yeah.
part of becoming. So, and I was thinking, and I was hearing her in my head, like, don't you know who I am? Why don't you think I'm funny? And then I understood that they live in a different shade of gray, and I'm
Man,
I'm
tell
I'm
me
either
about
too
it.
silly or too serious.
Yeah,
So I relate to that. Definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, man. You can never find that happy medium, no matter how hard you try, man.
No, no, I'm always going to extremes, but I like it that way,
Exactly.
yeah.
It gives life a little bit more, what are you, energy, I guess, always trying to figure it out. So,
Right, and as long as you do your soul searching, you're gonna be
yeah.
fine. Like Jim Carrey says that he wishes that everyone uh, got rich and famous so that they saw that it's not the answer. So
Yeah.
I'm a very spiritual man. So I think that I use that calmness, that in between part that everyone so desperately wants to pull out of me. I use it to be alone with myself and to just get to know myself and
Nice.
experience that and try to be in connection with my higher self and hopefully be a good guy.
Yeah. Isn't that the goal? I think that's what I'm trying to do in life. Just try to be the good guy, man. Spent so much of my life screwing it off that I just want to try to, fix the rest of it to be the right way. You know what I mean? Isn't that
Right.
the idea?
But that's the whole point. We live, we learn, and the good part is that you got it and that you're trying to make it better. Some people just screw up and
Exactly.
go through life just continuously.
Never, yeah, yeah, never learning, never correcting. Exactly.
Right.
I feel
Right.
like I have a grammar. I feel like I have like one of those Grammarly angels over me. It's like autocorrect every time I go to make a mistake. So, I mean, that's that. That's a good thing, man. So, all right. So, just real quick, man, while we got just a couple of minutes left here, man. Obviously, people have been listening to Free Time on our station FCR 247. What's your future musical plans? What do you got in the works? What are you looking to do with yourself musically for the next 2, 3, 6 months?
Oh, I got this really well. I got a bunch of collaborations coming up, and I also got this really cool single that I'm gonna release soon as part of like the re-edition of the Irreplaceable album. Which,
Oh,
by the way,
nice.
everyone should stream. As I said before,
Yes.
good time to
Go
self
quickly.
promote.
And in fact, you should buy it. You shouldn't even stream it. You should buy it. Streams are not worth anything. Buy the album. Buy the album Irreplaceable.
Yeah, guys, I promise to make it up to you and give back when I have a lot.
Yes, don't we
Yeah.
all? I mean, isn't that the point? Exactly. Isn't that the objective, right? So,
Right,
yes. Yeah.
right. It's not what you get, it's what you give. So, buy the album and enjoy it. And if you're going through a hard time, then you'll relate to it. And if you're not, you can just play it while you're chilling at home, and it works both ways. That was
Exactly.
an intention that I had when I wrote it. I wanted it to have several moods. Definitely not the one where you're at 2 a.m. in the morning, playing those bangers and talking about popping bottles in the club. I remember me tweeting like, I will never be that guy who pops bottles in clubs in a song. I think that there's something more that we can say, something more
Is this
substantial.
is this where I'm supposed to hang my head in shame because I've been that guy, or do I get a free pass in this instance?
No, 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 no. Every, as long as you do the music that you love and that you can relate to, that's the way to go. So
Let's just say I grew up. How about that? I grew up. Does that work for my excuse? I grew up.
right, and I'm never saying never. So maybe one day I'll be so happy and
Maybe
so
that's what
complete
you'll be
with
doing. Maybe you'll actually be in that
right.
situation, right?
and not that I'm not happy now, but in that mindfulness state that I'm trying and that I'm searching for, once I reach it, maybe, I'm gonna be in complete bliss. So I'll be like, okay, so I had a fun
Yeah.
time at the club yesterday. I'm gonna write about it, you know.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
Prince did it with a lot of class, So as long as I do it like that, I remember this line of his from a song called "Illusion Coma Pimpin' Circumstance," and I like it because he was like, "Just put your name on this prenup, and we can all hit the disco, woo!"
Uh, it's, but nowadays, man, you have to, man.
so,
It's that bad. That
so
ain't a joke no more.
so he had this way of saying it, and oh, he was really exceptional. But yeah, we never know what we're gonna be doing. But I got that. I'm gonna continue pushing the album. Of course, I think it's got a lot more to give with some of the tracks that I want to push because they mean so much to me, and I want to get that message across. But I have this really cool song that I'm gonna add to it that I wouldn't like to talk about the dynamics of it or the music in it because I don't want to
Yeah.
give it away. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying like I was trying to mix two genres, one from the past and one from the now, and mix them together. And I had this idea in my mind, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if it's gonna work," and it worked. We spent
Ah,
like
nice.
2 months thinking about it and just trying to piece it out together, my producer and myself. And
Nice.
I was like, why can't you send me the final arrangement? I want to hear it. And he was like, give me 2 weeks. You still sound like somebody else, and we don't do somebody else here. We
Yeah.
do you. And I was like, yeah, right. I like that, and that's like my only guideline. So I'd know
Nice.
I'd never want to be I'd never want to sound like anybody else. So
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
always, even if sounding like somebody else sounds cooler for a moment,
Or
that's
even
not
if
how I
that's
think.
what it takes to make you a star, I wouldn't jeopardize it, man. Don't ever jeopardize it, man.
Right, right, and yeah, and I never compromise that. I like sounding different, and I used to have that issue with sounding different. I was like, why can't I sound like this or that person? And then I realized it's a good thing that you sound like yourself.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that.
Yeah.
So now it's my only guideline. So we were working on that for a couple of weeks, and and when we turned it out, and he was like, okay, so we're gonna record some chords and stuff. And when he brought it back to me, what I'd heard from the first take was completely different, and I freaked out because we'd been working on it. And and he played it for me, and I was like, I don't know how he did this, but we made it work. Like, and
Nice.
and so we're
Nice.
working on that now, and I plan to release it like in time for the summer when the corona is dead by heat, you know.
Yeah. And people
So
can actually get out and move around again.
right, you know what? I was thinking about that yesterday, and how you can't go to clubs and bars and malls and nothing. So and that's gonna take a toll on the economy. But once people can get out, and this is for all, brand and, business owners of any sort, hear this up because I just had that epiphany yesterday, or what, like Barney Stinson would say, that epiphany, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I had it yesterday. Once people can actually get out to the normal lives, they're going to be wanting to run to the mall, run to the movies, run to the restaurants. They're going to be all over the place. So you better, work on a plan
Yeah. You better be ready for it when it pops
to
off.
right, to satisfy that over demand that's going to go the other way around. So
Exactly.
they're all going to get the losses that they're having now. They're going to get them back, but it's going to be like a boom, right? So they
Yeah.
better be ready to get that. But we won't get into that advice unless they call me and offer me money for more advice. So let's move on.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, man, Ian, man, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you, of course, on this show, man. And like I said, people do need to go out and buy the album Irreplaceable. They need to stream the video Free Time. That is just that, like I said, that's one of those that's out there as a songwriter's dream. And of
Thank
course,
you.
man, just your overall atmosphere, your overall enthusiasm, your drive, your dedication, all commendable, all applaudable, and all something to be recognized by the general population as being unique and as being, like you said, different from everybody else, being your own style. Because I do believe that your style, your image, your whole thing that you got going on for you is something that is going to work very well in today's society. I think it is also something that is needed in today's society, with a lot of conflict of interests and people pushing their own agendas, and just needing that moment where you can relax and focus on what it makes us human, our emotions, things like heartbreak, things like happiness, things like peace and joy, and so on and so forth. And I think you're an admirable and very qualified person to bring this to the table. And so you have my support. I absolutely love it. I love what you stand for. I think you're incredible. And I can't wait to see exactly how big and how amazing you're going to be, because the future has no boundaries for you, bro. No boundaries whatsoever.
Well, man, thank you so much. I'm actually gonna listen back to that, and I'm gonna put it in
He's
writing.
like, I need a
So
recap.
so yeah, I'm gonna listen that. I'm gonna listen back to it so that I can quote it, because that was, well. Thank you, man. Thank you. I
Well, like I
hope
said,
that.
man, not enough people get to hear the proper due respect and praise and confidence that people should have in not only entertainers, but the qualified, classy, correct kind of entertainers. You know what I mean? So,
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I enjoyed myself. I don't know if I was all politically correct all the time, but we can't be that.
you
You
know what? I don't think anything in life anymore is politically correct. So I
know?
think even the word itself, politically correct. I don't. Yeah, those two don't even go together anymore. So.
Right,
Yes,
right.
brother. It's been a blessing, man. And of course, we will have all of our fans and followers and whatnot, promote this tonight at the event. We have this replay going on at 8 o'clock tonight. Hopefully, you'll join us and you'll be able to listen to yourself and get those quotes that you need, because we definitely had a great conversation. And I look forward to doing this again, as well as maybe some other things that we might have going on in the future as well. So.
Right. That's gonna be fun too.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Best wishes to you, Ian. Thanks again for doing this, man. And of course, everybody, stream Irreplaceable. Visit his website, Ian Guerin Music. That's what it is, right? Ian Guerin Music,
Right.
IanGuerinMusic.com, and check out all this amazing stuff that I'm looking at right now. Ian, enjoy your day, brother, and be safe and practice social distancing, but do not forget to show love for everybody else.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I had an amazing time. Have a great day.